morning. I'm going to turn this up. I yeah. I think in the recordings on I can do this too. That should help. Good morning everybody. Welcome to another week. It's July 12th, 2021. And we're out here doing our normal thing. Now the holidays are over and the concert's over. Man, if you did not come to the concert, I don't know what the hell you were doing. We had a good time on Saturday at the Langston's house, playing some music and hanging out with old friends. And then the Conor McGregor fight. Rest in peace to his shin. I didn't know Conor was such a dick. I feel bad that there was so much animosity. I know a lot of people like to watch the animosity between fighters and it's entertainment, but you're talking about the actual character of these guys, and I don't know. From what I understand, It doesn't seem like Conor withdrew from his donation to Poirier's charity. Didn't he wasn't it just delayed, or he was late and then Poirier called him out and so Conor donated somewhere else? I don't know. Just like now they hate each other, and then Conor was saying some pretty awful things about killing the man in the octagon. But also, isn't that just kind of rhetoric when you're going to battle like that? I don't know. It was too bad the fight ended the way it did, because now we're going to have another fight and it's just going to be even more hatred all the way up to the end of that fight. So, who knows? It was a good time though. The fight was fun. The earlier fights were awesome. Who was the one that shot Sugar Ray Leonard? Like that green-haired kid put up the fight of his life. That was an awesome fight to watch. Oh man, it's been last week was a tough week for exercise. I went to the Bonneville Shoreline in Salt Lake. We ran me, Steez, and Brooks ran 6.2 miles. What did we run? 6 miles. I think Brooks ran 7 miles because he went the wrong way. And man, my legs are still sore. It's been 3 days. But that's what you got to do. We're training for the Spartan race on Sunday. We got a Spartan race on Sunday. It's supposed to be climbing towers and crawling under electric fences and this and that. So that'll be a ton of fun. I'm excited for that. Yeah, I want to run the trail. I want to run trails more often, and I want to bring more people to run trails. It was really hard, but some of the most, like, it was zen. It was so much. I had my headphones in, but I had them not on noise cancellation. I had them on transparent, and I was listening to lo-fi, so it was really steady and smooth and quiet music, and I could hear my feet on the rocks. I could hear the water from the rivers, or maybe it was just the wind in the trees, and the birds were singing. And my mom says there's tons of rattlesnakes, but I didn't see or hear any rattlesnakes. But the trail was awesome. I want to do it once a week. I guess I'm gonna just post it on my social media and try to invite as many people as I can out. If you don't like to exercise, hiking is an excellent way to engage your entire body and to challenge yourself, to get your heart rate up, to work all of your lower body, your core, and it's in nature. It's a very serene way to exercise. Yeah, maybe I'll post something about it. Last week I finished those books though. That book, Sapiens. The last two parts, the last two sections were, um, last two sections were pretty sweet. I took some notes too. I wrote just a couple things down that stood out to me, but pretty basically the end of the book is are we is all of the changes that humans have made, was it for the better, or was it not for the was it for the worse? I mean, are we happier because of what we've done? That's kind of up for debate. There's a whole lot that goes into that, and one thing that he said that stood out to me was, at the end of the day, our biochemistry doesn't have a happiness. It doesn't. We don't like happiness isn't a tangible thing. Happiness is a chemical reaction that happens within us, and it's when our brain secretes serotonin, and we feel it's a chemical reaction when something good happens to us. The example that he said was, are bankers that make, is someone that makes millions of dollars and has an awesome penthouse in New York happier than a caveman who just built his mud hut? And this example was, when the banker finishes building his penthouse, he secretes a similar amount of serotonin than does a caveman who builds a mud hut. And because of the reward, and so that it's not like the banker is happier with his penthouse even though it's far more comfortable. The amount of serotonin is similar because of the accomplishment and because of whatever the result is bringing for you. I mean, I guess in these days, if you were offered rent at a house or a mud hut, you would almost certainly be happier or more comfortable in a house. But the point is, happiness is subjective to our environment. It's not, there isn't it's not like we created cars and so now we're happier humans. It just helps us get around, and reaching a destination and seeing and running into old friends and family secretes a certain amount of serotonin just as it did thousands of years ago. So, are we happier? Who knows? Uh, Another quote that he said. I don't think it was from. Yeah, another quote he said is, or was it from another book? No, I think it was from *Sapiens*. If you have a why to live, you can bear almost any how. But if you have no why, life is miserable no matter how comfortable you are. Giving your life a why is giving yourself and other people a why to live is what helps, is what produces happiness. Having a why do I wake up and work for 9 hours a day? If you have a distinguished why, this is kind of deep. I didn't put too much thought into this. If you have a why to live, then you could bear almost any how. You could bear almost any difficulty or any hardship or trials that you're experiencing. I mean, I guess it makes me think of that. What was that? Unbreakable, the Olympic athlete that gets captured into a Japanese tortured camp, and he has to hold a log over his head for what, like 24 hours. But his why wasn't it just to kick the Japanese ass, to prove them how tough he was, prove to them. I mean, and also to survive. So anyway, yeah. If you have a strong enough why, you could bear almost any how. But if you don't have a why, then life is miserable no matter how comfortable you are. If you don't have a why, then you could be the banker in the penthouse, but be miserable, live a miserable life. So how do you establish a why? What are things? What are reasons to live? I mean, I'm a single 25-year-old, not single. I'm not a married 20. I'm not a married 25-year-old. I have a lot of friends. I have an amazing girlfriend, but I don't have kids. I don't have house. I don't even have pets. I mean, it's a pretty, what is my why? I've actually thought about that too with this podcast and with like the amount of exercise that I exert in a day. What's my why? What is my why? I mean, I want to have money and I want to have financial freedom. I also want to be the strongest and the healthiest that I can be. But why? Why do I want financial freedom? Why do I want to be strong and healthy? Why do I want to be smart and educated? What is my why? I sit up I spend a lot of time thinking about how to make passive income, and I've my attitude has kind of changed. I don't want to make passive income just so I don't have to work and I can goof off. I want to I think my why is I to put my energy into things that I enjoy and things that are helpful for people. Like something like this if is more productive to me, is more helpful than cleaning carpets. For I think if I could put my time into something like this or get an education, be a teacher, be some kind of instructor or mentor, if I could I think that's my why. I want to be somebody that is uplifting and helpful. So I don't necessarily want to be bonkers rich because of my job or my hobbies or my why. I just don't want to have to worry about money. And I want to have enough financial freedom and time to do the things that I enjoy, and also uh, help help in the ways that I think are helpful. Anyway, why? That's a good question. Why do we do anything? Why do we want to do anything? That's a really good question. I don't think I shared on social media that I'm live, so I'm going to just do that right now. I'm going to take a selfie. Selfie's taken. And now I'm going to post it on social media. And I'm going to say I'm live. Check the bio for the link. And then I'm going to post it, and then I'm going to put it back down. So after I finished that book, I decided to listen to. Okay, well, my overall thought on Sapiens is I'm 100% a believer in biology and the sciences, and I think that almost anything that humans have developed or any kind of societal norm like religion or the economy can be explained and traced through how humans have developed. And I think I mean, he does an excellent job at explaining why things are the way they are now. And regardless of what you actually believe, well, you could try to entangle the spiritual aspect of religion, and if you believe that there was a God that did these things that influenced certain things, like I think a big point in the Mormon church is there was no real or no major changes in the world from from Christ up till Joseph Smith, and then electricity was discovered and the Industrial Revolution took place, and it was I feel like that was part of why or a big reason why like the Holy Ghost was introduced back to the world and to inspire people. That was something I think I was raised to believe, or maybe it was just an idea that I had as I grew up. But the you can entangle religion and spirituality that way with biology, and I think there was just I mean, if you want to remove the religion, it was just happenstance that a curious. Oh no, actually, there's a really good point. He does totally explain the colonization of the world with the British Empire and their influence in all of the changes that we now experience. When humans were able to focus on science and agriculture, it led to just more thorough and clearer and better scientists and better farmers. Anyway, my point is, when the British Empire was colonizing the world, they weren't just sending explorers around to conquer and to take over land. They were also sending scientists to study the areas that they were finding, and because they could. And anyway, I should go back. I mean, I'm not explaining it very well, but the British Empire had a lot to do with, excuse me, with how we ended up, with how innovation went the way that it did. Anyway, so yeah, I believe in biology, and I'm really fascinated with in the philosophy of biology, and really good book. Totally recommend. 10 out of 10. I'm gonna read the sequel. It's called Homo Deus. Homo meaning human, and Deus meaning God. And the book is about, instead of the past of humankind, it's a brief explanation of the future of humankind. And I think it's mostly theorizes about what we are doing in the world now and where that's probably going to take us. I mean, even at the end of this one, he talks about what the world will be like with bionic humans. I mean, we already are bionic humans. Anything that's not organic that we use every day, like glasses or hearing aids. Some people get, replace their hips and shit. Then they're technically a bionic human. It's the same. It's that concept. Anyway, all right, moving on. So after I read that last week, I re-listened to the Four Agreements. Whoops. Listen to the Four Agreements again by Don Miguel Ruiz. A Toltec wisdom book. It's a super, super quick read. In fact, the last quarter of the book is a bunch of prayers. So you could get through the book really fast. So maybe it's not the whole last quarter. It's not a ton, but anyway. It's like an hour 40-minute listen on Audible. And I know I've talked about it before, but I just re-listened to it, so it's fresh. So some of the things that I took from it, and it's a beautiful book. I don't know if I love it. Kind of encompasses Christianity with the wisdoms, and I know I'm a pessimist, and I've got to learn how to be better about it. It just kind of rubs me the wrong way. Things just like what that example with the Holy Ghost leading to innovation and how we got technology. It's things like that kind of rub me. It just kind of just irritates me. It's not good. I'm not saying that's a good thing. I'm just being honest about it. The first point I made from the book was that no one abuses us, more than we do. If someone abuses us a little less than we abuse ourselves, we will stay in the relationship. If you feel you aren't worthy in love and respect, you will tolerate being disrespected and abuse. Yeah, and I gotta say, the thing that I struggled with the most was with the book was like, what's the point? What am I trying to gain out of it? And I think the point is to love yourself and to live a happy life, a fulfilling and conquering this. I said create immunity to hell. He paints this picture of life as we know it is a dream, and we are all dreaming with our eyes open and our brains turned on. Life is just a dream, and we either dream heaven or we dream hell, and it all depends on whether we're in heaven or hell. Depends on the agreements that we make with ourselves and with other people. And by agreements, he means it's just like our attitudes, the things that we decide are important to us, the things that determine our attitudes. So, to live in a dream of heaven, we need to. There are 4 important agreements, and I've said them before. The agreements are to be impeccable with your word. The second one is to not take anything personally. Don't take anything personal. The third one is to make no assumptions, assume nothing from anyone or from even from yourself. And the fourth one is to always do your best. And the point is, if you live your life and you're sad, or if you live your life and you don't feel fulfilled, or you feel like you're living in hell or dreaming in hell, the way to get out of it, to experience freedom, is to accept these 4 agreements. Oh, indigestion from this freaking protein shake. Sorry. So yeah, the point I think the when at that point, the happiness to have a why, I think that came from this book actually. If you have a why to live, you can bear almost anyhow. So yeah, so one of the big points before or in the book was, yeah, if every single day humans judge ourselves. We judge ourselves harsher than any other animal. He explains how true justice is paying for a crime one time. True injustice is paying for one crime several times, more than once. And humans, we punish ourselves relentlessly over single mistakes. True justice is paying for a mistake one time and then moving on. So learning to love yourself and to let go of your mistakes is part of the deal. We abuse ourselves more than anyone else can abuse us. If we tolerate somebody that abuses us, if you're in a relationship and the person that you're with or your friend or your family member, they bring you down and they hurt you emotionally or physically, and you tolerate it, stems from this idea that you feel like you aren't worthy of respect or of love or patience, and that this person is doing you a favor by being with you, and that's why you tolerate these hardships. But to be impeccable to your word, and he breaks impeccable down to its Latin meaning, and it means without sin. And to be without sin means to never bring it down. And if you're talking about yourself, never bring yourself down. So everything you say, everything you do, all of your intentions should be to always uplift yourself. So to always uplift yourself means to believe you are worthy of love, you're worthy of respect, and you won't tolerate other people that bring you down, and you won't tolerate yourself bringing yourself down. That's a really quick way to explain what it means to be impeccable with your word. Realize your agreements to control your dream. Change your agreements. You want to create immunity to hell, the hell that you live. The agreements that you establish will create immunity to hell. When hard things happen to you, or when somebody's mean to you, nothing will bring you down, because your agreements have established heaven in your brain and in your heart, so you don't feel hell. You don't feel hurt or harm. Great. Yeah, I think that's all I took from the book. Be impeccable with your word. Don't take anything personally, even from yourself, and even the good things. All the good things that happen to you are happening. They're only happening because of somebody else's expression. But you shouldn't put your happiness into someone else's expression, and you shouldn't put your sadness into someone else's expression. You shouldn't take anything personally, and you shouldn't assume anything either. It's always, you know what they say, it's better to make an ass out of. Wait, assuming makes an ass out of you and me. Yeah, something like that. Never assume anything. And then always do your best with your agreements. And yeah, come up with your why. Why is it important to come up with to have these agreements? Why am I trying to improve myself? Do I just not want to be miserable? Am I miserable and I don't want to be miserable, or do I want what is my why? That's the biggest thing I'm taking away from this today. So what's up, Shy Gamer Girl? Thanks for the heart. And thanks for the book. He's the one that showed me or she. Can I reveal your identity? Shy Gamer Girl 8 is a guy. He's the one that showed me the book like 6 months ago, and I've read it 3 or 4 times now. And there's a lot of awesome golden nuggets in there. And yeah, like I said, I have a hard time with the mixing and the mingling with religion, and it's a shortcoming of mine that I need to work on. It's not a negative thing, I just think it's annoying. Like last night I saw a TikTok about this girl. She was holding the caption was something like, if you believe in magic, then it will manifest itself, or something like that. And she was holding an ice cube in her hand like this, and the whole thing, if you're watching, I'm demonstrating. She had an ice cube in the palm of her hand, and she was pushing the ice cube without touching it, just like pushing it with magic, like the force and the energy. And she just did it a few times, and she had, it's a bittersweet symphony, it's right, as she was pushing the ice. And then the ice fell off of her hand. And so I saw that, and I went to my roommate Hudge, and I said, let's do it, because obviously it's real, and we can push the ice off. But everybody in the comments was like, oh man, I just feel the energy through the TikTok, and I can feel it buzzing in my hand, but I can't quite get it off. I'm not quite there yet. And so I I don't know what to think of it, because if there are tons of people that believe in this kind of stuff, but is it not bullshit? I mean, what's the, like, magic is magic. People do magic tricks, and people do magic tricks all the time, and it looks like it's freaking wizardry. And it is, and I have no idea how they're doing it. But that's kind of the point. I mean, this girl could have just had her camera angled a certain way, and she just had her hand tilted, and just ever so slightly that rolled down her hand as it melted. Because I felt like the ice cube was gonna freeze my hand, but then it started melting and started getting really slippery. So who the hell knows who the hell knows. I struggle with shit that can't be explained, or things you just have to believe. You just have to believe, and it's true. I don't know. I don't think I'm the only one that feels that way, but maybe growing up in a religion where the whole principle is just to believe, you got to have faith, is what is hard. Because now I read books like Sapiens, and there's a pretty valid theory and explanation for almost any event that's ever occurred in human history, including religion, that discredits just this belief in something. So I don't want to be negative about it. I don't like to be negative about it, but just saying that it's real, and you have to just feel the energy too. I have a hard time with energy, because it's just an ominous force that you really can't explain. You just got to experience it and feel it. And maybe I just don't trust my fucking feelings. Anyway, I think that's it. I read those 2 books. I've been really shitty on my diet lately, so I'm gonna read that book this week about the Primal Blueprint by that one guy, and figure out how to optimize my nutrition and my diet. I do a lot for my nutrition already. I mean, I eat and drink a ton of protein with my exercise routine, but I eat a ton of candy still, and drink a ton of beer. So I love the idea of getting all of the nutrients and the vitamins and supplements and whatever that your body needs to operate at full capacity. Because I don't think, well, I certainly know that the way that I've lived in the past with my diet, I've not had full nutrition. And why do I want full nutrition? I think that's an excellent question to always ask. Why would I want to have good nutrition? Well, I know that having good nutrition helped if not cured my gut problems from a year or 2 years ago. My ulcerative colitis. I ate almost no carbs and no greasy fats, processed foods or sugars ever for the time being. And yeah, like I said, I'm not a doctor, and who actually knows what happened, but I know when I cleaned it up for the first time, my gut health improved tremendously. But now that I am healthy, I'm trying to be stronger. I want to have a clearer mind. I want to operate. I want to be sharper. I want to think deeper, better thoughts. I don't want to feel groggy. I know when over the weekend, I watched a movie and I ate a ton of Skittles and M&Ms, and I had the worst night. I slept for like 10 hours and had the worst night of sleep in my entire life. I woke up feeling like shit, and I was groggy all day long. And I could attribute it to a few things, and I think eating candy before bed, like that's not optimizing my nutrition. It's fucking delicious to eat Skittles and M&Ms all day long, but it's a bad habit of mine. I just love to eat food. Just love to eat food. My fucking ape mind loves to eat food. So yeah, why I want to give my body the nutrients to optimize my exercise results. I want to be bigger and stronger and faster and less tired. One thing that I have noticed with how I eat is I'm less tired after exercises. I can lift a lot of weight and not be tired. I can go run up a mountain and not be as tired. I mean, my legs are fucking sore as all get out because I go run and then I clean carpets for 10 hours. I'm climbing stairs and pulling hose up flights and built up 3 balconies. So I'm really my body is exhausted, but my brain isn't tired. But I come home and crash for sure. But I just want to be better. I want to be stronger and faster, sharper. But why do I want all of those things? It's a good point. I don't know. I'm gonna think about it. But I do like to push myself and see better results. I also want to be successful, like I was saying earlier. And I think the really successful people are the really hard workers, the ones that spend a lot of time on their bodies and on their brains, and it translates into their business and their relationships. If I can optimize myself to be the best me, not only will I be the best me for myself, but I'll be the best me for my friends, for my family, for my business, for my hobbies, and for in every aspect. So if I can optimize my nutrition and my physical health and my mental health, my emotional health, I should be able to have happier and healthier aspects in all regards. I think that feels really good. That resonates with me. I hope that resonates with you. I think that's a good way to end this today. If you can optimize yourself for yourself, that will translate to every other aspect in your life. If you can push yourself now, work hard now, you can have easier and better things down the road. If you work hard on your business and your career, your education now, those things will translate into your future and give you more comfort technically, but it'll give you the ability to work even harder in the future to get. If you want more, then you can get more. No one likes Jeff Bezos for all the things that he has, but I heard someone on Rogan he interviewed somebody that ran into Bezos in a gym, and they said that this guy, that Bezos works out like a terrorist, and he probably is a terrorist. But he works, he fucking works hard. If you watch the 60 Minutes about him in like the 90s or the early 2000s, Amazon was in debt. They were losing money every year for like a decade. And I'm not justifying anything that they do wrong now, but there's a reason that Amazon is so successful now, and the reason why Bezos is so successful, it's because he he put his mind to something really difficult for years, and he really struck gold with this with Amazon. So I'm not justifying shitting in bags in the back of your van. I don't think that's right, or peeing in bottles as a standard, or not being able to sit down on your job. Yeah, I mean, certainly everyone can improve in almost any area. It's just a fact. But I do think that Bezos worked hard to do and to be where he's at. So anyway, maybe this went on to a sour note, because I know a lot of people are mad at him and Amazon. But I use Amazon every day, almost every day. I think most people use Amazon almost every day. And it's just like those people that complain about capitalism on their iPhones. It's an oxymoron. It's all oxymoronic. And it's not our fault. It's just what we have to communicate. And I don't know how to do it better. That's why I don't do it. But that's why I'm working so hard to be educated on it, working on my body and working on my brain, because I want to know. I just want to be better for myself and to help other people. Boom. That's it. So this week we're gonna run the mountain again, and I'm gonna just post about it. And I would be stoked if people came to run the mountain with Shy Gamer Girl 8 and I. It was just an ass kicker, but it's one of it's like you got to, if you want to improve yourself, you got to do shit you don't want to do. You got to do hard things. You got to wake up at 4:30, and you got to meet us at the mountain at 5:30, and and then start running before all the bikers show up, before all of the other runners, because it's easier to wake up at 7, and that's when everybody else wakes up and gets to the mountain. We got there at 5:30, and it was perfect. And we were gonna show up at 7 because that's what made sense in my brain, but Steez had to be somewhere at 7, so we started at 5:30, and it was I'm still got indigestion. We started at 5:30, and it was perfect. There were 2 guys on the trail, and then we crossed paths. It was cooler in the morning, and it was Dawn Patrol. Yo, Dawn Patrol, says Shy Gamer Girl. It's true. It was way better. It was way better that way. So I'm gonna post about it, and I would be stoked if people came to run the mountain with us. I want to do more trails, but I also want to run this at I think the park was called Popperton Park in Salt Lake City on the east side. But I'm going to run Adams Canyon. I want to run Adams Canyon on Wednesday. I still got to get ready for this race on Sunday, so I got work to do. We got work to do, baby. Let's get after it. Go do something hard this week. Do something hard every single day. I don't want to get up at 6 this morning to go to the gym, but it was a hard thing to do, and it's part of how I push myself and part of my goals. I fucking got up and go to the gym. I don't want to read books. I don't want to listen to books all day while I'm cleaning carpets. I really don't. I want to listen to music, and I really love lo-fi because it helps me turn my brain off. But reading these books, listening to these books, and challenging myself in my brain, you got to do the hard shit. If you want to be better, you got to do the hard shit. So go do it. Go do something hard this week, and come run with us, and I'll fill you in on the race next week next Monday. Come tune in live. I think I'm going to do something special next week. I'm not sure. You might just have to come tune in to find out. So anyway, thanks for showing up. If you listen to this, Steez, you're the only one in the chat. I know you always come through for the boys. You always have, and so does your family now. I mean, Jesus, your family's awesome. So love you guys. Have a great week. Go get after it. Do something hard, and we'll do it again next week. Bye.